Good evening, chaps and chapettes. Roggor here. Welcome back to the room, and yeah, let's just get going on this then, shall I? Okay. First off, with this one, I want to apologise for Twitch. I know I said in the last vlog, bloody terrible at this, saying like, "Hey, let's do this," and then next time, yeah, it didn't work out with this. Difference being is this time I do have a relatively decent reason for the whole Twitch fall through thing. Is that simply for the month of August, I've actually had a fair few family members actually staying here. And I simply haven't had time for recording. There's been no recording done in August at all. 2017 at least. So yeah, so if I haven't got the opportunity to record, and obviously we're recording on YouTube, you can edit out, like, say, people knocking on the door asking for something, or loud voices from downstairs or whatever that. With Twitch, you can't do that. So I probably decided... probably quite wrongly, I decided, you know, let's just wait until things are a bit quieter, and then we can maybe make things a little bit better that way. That was that. With the PS1 review that I mentioned last one, the editing has not started on that yet. The script is partway finished, but the simple fact is, I did a quick little readout of what I'd made so far of it, and it was a case of the time was very short indeed, and I was struggling to think of more things to say, because first one of these I've ever sort of tried, so I decided that actually I've got a decent amount for like a top 10, so that's what this little review is now going to morph into. So obviously, again, delay on that, so that's going to be sometime in September, I'm hoping, this time round. So for August, as I said, that one thing I did follow through is that it was a vid every single day. I want to ask you guys' opinions on that. Was it a case of that was like too much? Were people not able to follow it up? Or what was the case? Because it was a bit bizarre, because I used the Social Blade alongside the YouTube analytics itself, and basically the amount of views on the channel doubled in August, even though it was a case of it was more sort of like maybe 2-3 times the amount of videos per week or so. That was good. The only bloody annoying thing about that is that we actually lost subscribers. No new subscribers in August at all. In fact, we lost them. Yeah, and I say we because I'm a pretentious prick. So yes, I'm not 100% sure of that. Is it a case of like maybe it's small to do daily vids just yet? Maybe that sort of drives people away? I don't know. I don't know with that, so I would like to ask you guys' opinions on that, so let me know down below. Also, a question I would like to ask you guys to that is basically this: webcams, me, because the whole point of the masks, as I have said before, but I will reiterate it here, is because I was working at a school, it was basically in my interests for my proper full face to not be on camera, because I was stupidly optimistic, like, well, maybe if I get popular for whatever stupid reason, last thing I want is for like through the kids at the school to find out, and therefore my bosses, because actually when you're, as it turns out, when, as far as bizarrely social media, and YouTube would count as social media, is concerned, at least with British education, you're supposed to conduct yourself in the same manner that you would at work. Yeah. So basically this channel will basically be career cancer. So with that, I would like to ask, do you guys think the camera is worth it? Because it's bizarre, because I'm between jobs at the moment. It's a bit long and complicated, and it's boring, and you don't give a shit. But basically, at the moment, it's a case of like, I could take this off right now, and I wouldn't be harmed. But considering I've worked at a school before, chances are I'm probably going to work at a school again, because that's what the skill set works for. That's where I'm most likely to get the job. And of course, that would then mean this would need to continue for the aforementioned reason. Of course, it would be nice not to, because I'm actually where the fuck are they? Because I'm actually supposed to be wearing glasses for looking at screens and shit like that, but can't do that with masks, unfortunately. The only one I can is the old skull mask, and that's like a bit and it's not comfortable to wear for long periods at all. This sweat's like all buggery. Mask, the skull mask that you see the Outlast playthroughs, much worse. So it may be a case of like, if for whatever reason I wind up somewhere that doesn't have some bullshit social media policy, I can finally get rid of this and play like a normal person. But for the little sort of interim time, I'd like to ask you guys another opinion and say, like, would it be better if there was no webcam at all? Because the simple fact is, without webcam, I'm able to wear my glasses, and that means I'm able to play for longer, more content. I'm not having to strain the eyes or anything like that. So it's a case of would work better for me, but it would be a case of what the product is like for you guys. Do you prefer seeing some variation of my stupid mug reacting to shit, or is it a case of it's just the game? The game is what's important, and the little stupid voice in my head that comes out of my mouth. That's what I would like to know. Which do you think you would prefer? Sometimes me and Jim in the Talking Bollocks series, we do go on a political tangent just because that comes up. But I do want to say again, more stuff about YouTube. It's just this. Does YouTube not want to be the predominant platform anymore? Because that's the only thing I can see for the bullshit that they've been pulling recently. Basically, it seems to be a case of, well, after the apocalypse, quote unquote, they basically said, like, okay, it's not even sanitization, it's literally a burned earth policy. Anything which, not even just like, not even changing the terms of service, but like with the stupid shit like the limited state mode and whatnot, if whatever your video is on something they don't like themselves, they just simply put it in a little ghetto. And that's what the limited state is. It's a ghetto, which you can't even actually go through and look. You need the freaking direct links. Demonetization as well, you know, like, okay, it's not applicable to it. Because like the thing which I found the stupidest with that is that, say for example, like the Destiny 2 video game, like gameplay videos of that are apparently not applicable to advertisers, but the game itself is being advertised on YouTube. So the adverts are okay, but the actual product that's being advertised isn't. This is what happens when it's like a lot of case of people said, like, okay, well, go to like Vimeo, go to vid.me, plug. And it's a case of like, well, yeah, because when those places get big, they're going to have to do the same as YouTube. They're going to have to get the bots in order to manage the sheer amount of content. Because what is it? Something like 400 hours of content every minute or something ridiculous on YouTube. Yeah, because that's what happens. It seems that basically what's happening is the same as Steam. Basically, when the audience gets to a certain level, even with like freaking YouTube channels, it then becomes like the Sisyphean boulder, as if he ever actually got to the top of that hill and pushed it over the other side. It just becomes self-perpetuating. Everything is in one place, so everyone goes there. It's the case of like, you know, monopolies are bad. That's bloody obvious. Like, you'd have to be a freaking moron to say that having one company, one merchant, whatever, be in control of everything of whatever the shit they're selling is a bad idea. You'd have to be a freaking moron to not agree that. Unfortunately, it seems to be the case of that human nature makes that desirable. With Steam, oh well, all my games are in one place and there's loads of sales every single time. I don't know, there's a blue moon in the sky, or there's just, I don't know, that fart somewhere in California. I don't bleeding know. That's why it makes no sense, because they seem to be sort of like, okay, well they changed like way back when they changed their algorithm. So basically anyone that didn't make like regular videos, like say animators, for example, the animators was the classic example of like, this has changed. Okay, YouTube is now no longer viable, like at all whatsoever. Now it seems to be a case of they changed it so basically, okay, if you don't agree with whatever California culture is saying these days, then you're not even like just out. You're literally shoved into this little ghetto. That's not good business, because what you're going to do, the more people you say, okay, we don't like you, you can go away, they're going to say, okay, fine, we're going to go to your competitors. They're like, haha, well, I'm so big, there are no competitors. That is the exact sort of attitude that make competitors. You eventually focus your field so small. They seem to be making it so that like everything has to be like it would be on TV, but people don't come to YouTube for shit they can see on TV. No shit, Sherlock. I mean, it's like, I don't know, if you're selling, like, I don't know, freaking carrots or something, and you then suddenly try to tell everyone that you wanted to buy their apples. But no, they've come to you for carrots. They're not going to buy apples from you, because that's not what you're selling, like, at all. So they're just going to piss off to the next guy who's actually selling what they want. It's like basic economics and human psychology. It's like, it makes no goddamn sense. There's probably someone somewhere that has managed, in whatever mindset they have, to wiggle everything through their bonds to say that this is a good idea. But it's not. YouTube has lost money for Google or Alphabet or freaking Campbell's Soup, I don't fucking know who owns them at the moment, to basically say, like, no, we need to sanitize everything as much as possible to get the advertisers back. But YouTube already loses Google like over $2 billion a year. So therefore, that actually makes sense in their attitude, because if you're already losing money on what you're doing, you might as well change it as much and often as you like to try and make it so that it works. But the problem that they seem to think is that, okay, fine, we've now got the audience, so let's change the content so that we don't have to spend as much money uploading it, because let's face it, like, this video is going to get bugger all views, and like, all of like, an old one, but the only one I can think, a freaking Gangnam Style. So it takes up the same amount of space on the server. Back then, I was probably significantly less. One gets lots of views and lots of advertisers, one doesn't. So you're going to want to double down on what's actually making you money. But if you do that, you're going to lose the audience, because what you're essentially doing is you are telling people what they want. People don't like that, and they don't respond to it. They're just gonna piss off to where is what they want. Is fail of English. Anyway, that's gone on for a bit of a random thing, but yeah. So that was that. So yeah. So please, if you got those thoughts on what I've been blabbering on about or what I've asked for, please respond below. I do like reading your guys' comments. That's like that's like pretty much what makes me continue the channel these days. And as always, even if you guys don't feel you have any sort of social media presence, just like something like on Twitter under a hashtag or something, or like a Reddit post, any little thing you can do to help spread the channel and get more people here on board and enjoying this avenue of stupidity is always greatly appreciated. You guys, I don't think unless you actually make stuff like this, you can actually fully understand how much something says. Like, the few times I've had like, oh, XYZ person, obviously XYZ person mentioned about BT, so I took it about, hey, you're kind of cool, I'm gonna watch your stuff from now on. That is, it's good. It makes you feel good. It really does. So if you can help, please do. But by the way, one thing I forgot to mention it's on my freaking screen right now, is that obviously October is the classic Halloween month. So with October, it's always, the entire channel is going to be horror themed for that month. Not your cup of tea, maybe just enjoy September for what it is. But on Sundays, I'm actually going to be doing a new kind of LB, and you can have a look, see what it's like. I'll see what the reception is, but there's a particular formula called Let's Roleplay, which sounds weird and kinky. Probably isn't something, but it's basically a case of like, you don't play like as you basically play as the character of whatever game you're playing at. And we're going to be doing Fallout 4, but a very specific version of Fallout 4. Fortunately, not Fallout 4 VR. That's if that ever comes out, I am literally leaving this reality. Oh boy. So have a look-see out on Sundays for that. There's gonna because now we've come to sort of like the end of like a fair few of the series that have been running. It seems to sort of boil down to around about each month has its own separate set of series. They may be shorter, they may be longer, but it looks like a case of like, as going on, it may be a case of some of the series, the individual episodes will be longer in order so that, because it's a case of like, even if you've seen through like some of the older games I've got knocking around over there, and the like, stupid, because I'm a sucker for the Steam sale, really am. The sheer amount of sales games. The amount of games I've got, I want to get through them because I want to play them. I want to share my enjoyment of them, guys. And obviously, it's a case of like, if I'm like really going through in depth on a single game, that could take months, and the amount of games that could be put into that to find what is fun. And that is what I like about games, finding the fun. Anyway, finishing now. So, yeah, thank you very much, guys, for watching indeed. And bye.